earlier this month. An estimated 9.5 million tons of it was moving towards the Caribbean and Florida beaches. And it's all got to go somewhere. But what does that mean for people actually heading to the beach? Well, environmental engineer Dr. Tracy Fanara joins me now. Tracy, thank you for being with us. We know this time of year it's popular for spring breakers, but sargassum seaweed is on the rise along Florida's East Coast. Can you kind of talk about what sargassum is and what that actually means for people that are going to head to the beach?
Yeah, so sargassum is a macroalgae. It has historically been really important for the ecosystem, but ever since 2009 and 10, when we had an anomaly wind event, sargassum has made its way to the Caribbean, to those lower latitudes where it loves to grow like crazy. And the thing that's really neat and at the same time makes it a problem is that sargassum can actually populate or reproduce right on the ocean surface by fragmentation. And right now we have record-breaking amounts in the Caribbean and Western Atlantic. We are seeing landfall in the Caribbean, Mexico, southern Texas, and also in South Florida.
And when you talk about South Florida, we're looking at this, Dr. Fanara, and so a lot of people are like, all right, I got spring break plans. I still want to go to the beach. But a lot of this is on the east coast of Florida, right?
You're exactly right. I am here on the west coast of Florida, and it is the perfect place to be right now. The weather is beautiful, no Florida red tide, no sargassum washing up, and that's because the Florida Loop Current and the Gulf Stream takes that sargassum, and unfortunately it starts to make landfall in the Florida Keys and South Florida near Miami Beach, where I was last week, and saw lots of little patches of sargassum. But a lot of these beaches get rid of sargassum really quickly, so call before you go on your vacation and make sure that that's one of those places that gets that sargassum out of there, because it could pose health problems.
Yeah, and Dr. Fanara, oftentimes when people are going on vacation, they're looking at the headlines that are being made to wherever they're, traveling to. And we start thinking about the Florida beaches, the Panhandle region. One of the big headlines coming in over the last month, dozens of dead dolphins that have washed up. More than half of that happening this month alone. Can you actually kind of talk about what may be causing that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and the jury is still out. Samples have been sent to labs for some kind of conclusion. And now we've seen dolphins wash up, unusual mortality events in many different places for many different reasons. Last year, the bird flu caused a mortality event over in Indian River Lagoon on the east coast of Florida. We had freshwater flows from the Mississippi Atchafalaya watershed, bringing fresh water into the coastal waters. So much fresh water that it changed the salinity to a point where dolphins had lesions. 266 dolphins died in 2019 along the Gulf Coast. We've seen other viruses, and we've also seen Florida red tide impact dolphins. And right now we're in a drought situation, and the solution to pollution is dilution. Well, when you don't have that dilution, it could mean more pollution. So that concentration of any kind of toxins in the water could be impacting these dolphins. And a lot of times it is compounding effects. So they'll be exposed to one stressor, their immune system will be compromised, and then they'll be exposed to another.
And Dr. Fanara, another thing that we were seeing out of the Gulf, and a lot of people were like, whoa, what is this massive great white, right? A 1,400-pound great white was spotted there. A lot of people were wondering what's bringing it there. And we know that, of course, we have some video here of that being tagged at times. And so people are wondering, is that normal for them to be in the Gulf? And there's actually recent studies of them being exposed to chemicals like cocaine or even caffeine. So what is this all about when we're looking at the Gulf?
Yeah, so great white sharks, it's not completely unusual to see them in the Gulf of Mexico, though we have different shark species that are more prevalent. Great whites are out there. They're just in deeper waters. And the reason why we know that this one is out there is because it was tagged and tracked. Now, when it comes to sharks on cocaine or exposed to other human chemicals, well, we're seeing that that's happening more and more. A recent study just showed that a number of different shark species, species that are closer to shore. Gray whites were not one of them, have been exposed to a number of human chemicals from wastewater flows. We don't treat everything out of our water, and apparently cocaine and caffeine are two of the chemicals that are impacting these sharks. Now, sharks don't act like you would think on cocaine. That cocaine bear thing probably wasn't real either. I mean, it really happened, but the way that the bear reacted,
Yeah.
probably not. But this study did find that the sharks were impacted metabolically. So their metabolism slowed down when breaking down lipids, reproduction rates likely to slow down, and also they used more energy to detoxify themselves. So it is problematic, though we're not going to see sharks like going crazy on cocaine.
That's good to know, because Dr. Fanara, growing up in Florida, spring break in Florida, there's a lot of things you got to be concerned about. And I didn't know if we're going to have to add cocaine sharks as the list. Hopefully not. Dr. Fanara, thank you for being with us here tonight on Fox Weather.
Thank you so much for having me.